Hello and welcome back. And before we start, I'd like to thank GIM for sending this 3-fan digital ARGB kit for my daughter's build. Links to the fans, if you like them, will be down below. And as usual, I will give you a show of what the fans are doing in the color scheme that they're in and talk about their airflow. I think I went overboard. I wanted to build my daughter. She's 9-year-old. She's starting her own channel called Kara's World. And the idea behind it was her computer was really lacking in horsepower. Now to explain that, I will go to that machine real soon and show you what she was using and how you can cringe a little. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Problem is, she's becoming a lot more of a gamer. And because of that, of course, you can't have her using this thing. So she was using this right here. It is a name brand that I don't recommend to anybody. I actually bought it for $50 stripped. And when I say stripped, this guy ripped everything off the board. I had to repair everything. And when I say stripped, I mean this is an APU. It's soldered to the motherboard. The cooler, everything was ripped right off the board. I had to go find something else to clip in, which I ripped off a video card to make this thing actually work. So for $50, what did I get? Well, that was the bonus part. So you get Windows 10 Home built into the BIOS. So already a copy of Windows 10. It was a AMD dual-core A9 9420 APU with R5 graphics. Now the graphics weren't horrible for what it is, but it's just a dual-core, so you can see where it could struggle. So, like Dad would do, I added an RX 550 4 gig. Yeah, her gaming got a little better, and the card didn't. So, for me to go throwing a better card in here, oh, and the SSD was a 256. I had taken out the 128 and the 1 terabyte. I'm not a physical drive kind of guy, and it just slows the machine down in my opinion. And if she wants to do data transfers, that's what our server is for. So, this machine wasn't horrible. It's 16 gigs of DDR4 I put in it. I think originally it was 12. So, I mean, specs weren't horrible. It's a newer machine. It is a DDR4 machine running DDR 2600 or something like that. Not terrible, but for 50 bucks, it definitely was a buy. Got it working. She's been using it now for over a year. It's got Bluetooth, it's got wireless, it's got everything built in, but it just doesn't cut it anymore. Now, when I say I went overkill, just give me 1 second. What do you mean I went overkill? Now, I don't think the computer is really showing it to you yet. So, let's do this. This is a 9-year-old's computer. Now I'm going to go in depth. We're going to scan and zoom here. We're going to go around. I'm going to talk about what I did. I wanted to water cool this machine. I wanted to do something really special. Her favorite color is pink. Her new channel logo is the same color, pink. I'm trying to find a keyboard, mouse, headset, and a gamepad in this type of pink. So that's some things I'm still working on. Now what I did, and I'll have to take the glass off and show you a bunch of things that I did and why I did them. But I built a machine to be proud of. I built a machine that I would be proud of. And the expression on her face was priceless. Games she couldn't play, now play perfectly fine. So she was extremely happy. Now there was a downside to that, of course, was I couldn't get her to get on video. I really wanted her on video for this because I wanted people to see her expression. I wanted to see. It touched me. It really hit my heart really well because I've never seen her glow so much until she looked at this machine. So I'm going to go over all the stuff that I did, why I did it, why up here does not have any lights, and why we're not going to use this. Yeah. Now, one really nice thing about this, look, I have the pins out and the glass ain't falling off. It has a ledge over the glass here, and it has a ledge under the glass here. So I literally gotta take it out. not bad for the price tag. This case is just a Diypc. They call it the N1 Esport Edition. So this is a $59 Canadian case. That's all I paid. $59. I think the build quality on this case was really good. It's tinny, don't get me wrong, it's got a little bit of flex, like if I push hard enough, I can make things move a bit, but it's built decent for $59. Anyway, I took a gamble on this case for 59 bucks. I think it went on sale. It might have been 69 or something like that, or 74 or whatever. But it ended up with, it had tempered glass. It wasn't plexi. Very important. I don't want plexi. I got plexi on another one that I was doing something with. Hated the case. It scratched so easily just by taking off a piece of dust. I was very upset. So, a few things I did here. I went with Be Quiet fans up here. These are silent wings. Reason why I went with them, well, one, they're very silent. Two, they move a lot of air without having to push or to be very fast. So the air movement on this, I didn't want to play around with, because usually ARGB fans and so on that you buy aftermarket do not do well on radiators. So I wanted to make sure I had some fans that are known and proven to push air. Be Quiet was the answer. So in order to compensate for lighting this up and not having too much light going on, I put an ARGB strip down here from Easy DIY. Then the three fans over here did the job of moving light through. On top of that, I put in Deepcool's video card mount and matched it and hooked it actually to the ARGB strips controller, so they did the same thing. So they have a little bit more purple or bluish added to the pink here and here than it does here, giving it a little bit more effect. Now the water looks red. It really does, actually. It was supposed to be a fluorescent pink, but we're happy with it. She was still very happy, and that was good with me. Down here, I put a 650 ASA bronze ARGB power supply to run everything, and I have it cycling like a police light type of thing on a pinkish maroon style color to give some more definition to it, and it adds a lot of color out the back. Now, the reason why that black magnetic filter is being removed, with it on, temps went up over 10 degrees. It was absolutely useless. I didn't like it. How I proved it, I took the fan in my room, turned it on, and had my daughter stand in front of me. I said, feel that wind? She's like, wow, it feels good. I had it on bust. I had it on 6-speed. Put that in front of it, there was no more air. Now you guys tell me how that makes any sense. So there, she goes, how does that work? It's got these little holes. Yeah. Let's count on those also little holes lining up with the holes that are in this case. Ain't happening. So it wasn't moving very much air. I could feel heat, but I couldn't feel air. Without it, I feel the heat actually rising, which is what I wanted. So we went with Be Quiet on there to cool the radiator to make sure that 240 rad can do the CPU and the GPU. Now onto the CPU and GPU, I put a $34 water block, nickel-plated water block from Freeze Max, which I believe is the same company that makes this pump. And you can see down here, 31 degrees is the water temperature coming out. So this actually tells me the temp of the water coming out of the loop, which is pretty cool. So if I'm keeping the water at around 31, well, you can see that I'm keeping the system in the 30s, 40s. I wanted to, with the soft tubing, come up with an idea to make this look kind of like a hard tube setup, but I wanted to be able to move this. You got to see that this can be in the way in different things. So what I did, I took a couple brackets, mounted it to the fan, clipped on here, and put the water tank looking like it was floating, kinda. So now the water tank's on an angle, so the angle is important to make sure that the water was coming back out. We know it's coming in, we just need to make sure it's coming out. That's something I will have to monitor, and hopefully soon these bubbles will go away. The board is the Gigabyte A520i AC Pro Wi-Fi board that we had talked about that actually runs the 3400G. Again, I have tried the 3400G in other boards like B550Ms and so on. It does not work. This is the board it was tested on. This is the board it works in. This is the board I put it back in, and it's working. So 3400G is in here, but the video was just not enough. So we added, and let's keep in mind here that we're in a crisis when it comes to video cards. But I wanted something overkill for what she's doing, but I didn't want to take anything crazy out of my inventory. So we're using, and I have 2 of these, so I'm very happy because it was actually doing very well in games. I have 2 of these. They are the R9 290 water cooled. So it's a full water cooled block on here from SwiftTech. So it's a SwiftTech water cooler, which I don't see much anymore these days. I bought 2 of these used with these water blocks on them on purpose, and I really got a good deal on them. And this video card is a 4 gig, and it's running everything absolutely beautifully. So 16 gigs of a PC, a 3200 DDR4, of course, and we came up with this. So guys, honestly, what do you think? It is my first, I guess, extreme water-cooled build. That was not, this is a little taste of where I'm going. I have something big coming that you guys know of now, building my own custom machine, and I wanted to play around. Did I go overboard? Please comment below. It's a 9-year-old's gaming computer. Guys, as for the GIM fans, they will go up to about 1300 RPM. They have a remote control to control the lighting, different modes, and so on. You can plug into the controller, and the controller will plug into the board, so it can go motherboard control as far as the ARGB goes. The fans are not PWM. They are controlled by a fan speed on the remote, kind of like the easy DIYs that I used in my first game build for my own machine. But at 1300 RPM, did they do a good job? Well, I can tell you, when I put my hand in here, there's air. There's lots of air because there's no real restrictions here. The front of the case is open on that one side. Put your hand in front, you feel it sucking the air in. Now, what's different? You may have noticed that I did not put an exhaust fan on this. Trying this out, I feel the air from these fans going out the back, especially when the glass is on. I believe that these GIM fans are moving really nice air for what they are. Again, there will be a link down below if you wish to get these. I would not use them, and please, I will make this comment now. Do not put them on a radiator, okay? They're not going to push. They don't have the static pressure that's capable of doing that. You're going to see some really cool fans coming up on my build that have over 60 CFM. So about 2.6, 2.5, somewhere around there on the static pressure. They're going to be impressive, I hope. Guys, till next time, I got to get this up to my daughter's room. She can't wait to play Ancestors. Have you guys heard of Ancestors? Basically, you're 10 million years ago, and you're this little monkey baby because your parents got killed. And you've got to get to, I don't know if it's our world along the time, like evolution, but looks pretty cool. It was very demanding. Her old computer could not even start the game. We tested it on this, and I seen the glow on her face, and it was all worth it. Again, let me know. Did I go overkill? Game over, guys.